Welcome to the Uncultured Opinions podcast. This is episode 24. And before we get into anything tonight, I want to go through some housekeeping. We're on Apple Podcasts now.
Woo!
So go ahead and give us a review. 5-star review if you enjoy the podcast and have no complaints. For anyone watching on YouTube, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, most podcast services. We're on all the huge ones. Check out our socials. Sam can run you down the socials.
Yep, we have at the UO podcast on Twitter and the Uncultured Opinions on Instagram. Give those a follow. We'll keep it updated. Currently going through some revamp of the logo and just how everything's going to look, but that'll be updated pretty soon.
Sick. And next, shout out to our patrons, Darren. If you want to be a patron and get your name shouted out on the Patreon, I believe it's the $2 tier. That would be supporting us a lot, and you would show yourself as a supporter on the podcast. So that would be really appreciated. If you're listening on podcast services, we are on YouTube. We do video podcasts. If you want to watch us live whenever we decide to do that, we are on Twitch. I believe it's the Uncultured Opinions podcast, maybe.
Honestly, I feel like Twitch will probably mostly when one of us gets bored.
Yeah,
we'll be like, I'm just gonna hop
Halo
on there and just stream Halo or some shit.
Yeah, or
Which
game, yeah.
We might stream Fall Guys at some point. That'd be
I would
fun.
love to stream Fall
Maybe me and
Guys.
Sam though, and then Ethan cheering us.
We could do it tonight.
Yeah, when y'all get back, you could.
Possibly.
Or right here.
I guess we could stream here too, but I also have to take Brent home.
It's true. It's true.
Well, if me and Sam do it, it'd have to be me because I have the Elgato that's on PS4.
This is true. Oh,
And then one last thing, Twitch and everything will be in the description, including our Discord channel, our
Ooh.
Discord server. If you want to go in there and vibe and talk to us, have a good time, then that's there for you. But now, what have you guys been watching?
Doom Patrol still. No, I've been on that for a while, but I haven't watched that much. I finished season 1 though.
How'd you like it?
I liked it a lot more than I thought. I was super skeptical. I know we've talked about it before, but like, I wasn't a fan of the scenes that I had seen. If that makes sense. So like, I saw cutscenes online, and they were like, all the ones I saw were like in bad taste, and they weren't funny. They made me just want to watch it. Not
Yeah.
they wanted me to not watch it type deal. I was like, whatever. And then I didn't have anything else to watch. I was like, fuck it, I'll throw it on. I got HBO Max. I was browsing there. I was like, okay. And then I got it's okay. It's not my favorite show, but I'll definitely continue watching it. It's decent. I'm gonna start Umbrella Academy first though,
I need to watch that.
because
Very
I've
good.
heard it's insane.
I started watching season 2 with Ryan, and then she finished it without me. I haven't seen season 1.
That's a
though.
rip.
Damn, that is no love.
I've been
there.
watching a ton.
Well, I haven't even seen season 1.
She definitely has
so-
another man she's watching Umbrella Academy.
100%
with.
easy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Joke's on you. That other man is Sam.
Oof.
It's also why your mom watched it without you.
I've just seen it like 3 times.
I definitely think Doom Patrol is like a hidden gem, honestly. Like, I think it's a very special show that it kind of goes to show when directors and creators are allowed to have creative freedom that you can make some great things out of it. Because there's a lot of, like, yeah, they say fuck a lot, but there's
It's
a lot
definitely
there's a lot of special moments in that show.
It's
Oh, I can't
original.
watch it then.
it's original. We're gonna need you to watch your language.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry.
Hey, we can't fucking say that, Brent.
God damn it.
Chill.
Well, actually, we can't say that either. That is very, like, sacrilegious.
A lot of people don't like that.
Yeah.
I try to watch
We
it.
just lost about 20 viewers.
Go to hell.
That's another 20.
And now we have to owe people views.
Is that all you've been watching, Ethan?
Actually, I've been watching a lot of the Top Gear Top 41 on Amazon. That show's so good.
It's pretty good.
Top 41 is kind of where it's at
Watch a
because
lot of random shit.
I used to watch Top Gear all the time, and then my brother was like, "Did you see that they put Top 41 on there?" Which is just
Like their best
it's
episodes.
just their 41. Like they just picked it. They're like, "This is gonna be in there," type deal.
That's
So,
pretty
like,
sick. I want to watch
it's
that.
like it's what it is. It's the top 41 because like there's like 30 seasons. I don't have time to sit down and watch it, but I can watch the top 41. Like I can get through that easy. It's pretty funny. It's a really good show. I really like the shit they do in there. It's pretty crazy.
I probably
Oh,
should.
and Hell's Kitchen. I've been binging some Hell's
Gordon
Kitchen.
Ramsay's a legend.
I love
I've
Hotel
been-
Hell. I watched that one a lot.
Gordon Ramsay is the
I've
goat.
been binging Hell's Kitchen. The whole reason we watched it because like Hulu has this thing. It's like top rated episodes. It was like this episode of Hell's Kitchen is really funny. I read the description. And it's like where he like goes ape shit on one of the guys, and I was like, I want to see this. It's like in the middle of like season 14 or something, and then I've just kind of been binging from there. But I love watching him yell at people.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
But like sometimes it gives me like a superiority complex. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm on the same level as Gordon Ramsay when I'm watching the show. You know what I mean?
Like, God damn,
Yeah,
I
because
wouldn't
you're like,
do
these
that
people
either.
fucking can't cook to save their lives.
Like, because he's like, who burnt the scallops? I'm like, why the fuck would you burn the scallops? But I've
Yeah.
never cooked a scallop before. But I feel like you have to be an idiot to burn the scallops. But then there are sometimes that, like, they'll send out steak raw. And I'm like, okay, I wouldn't do that. It probably tastes better than, like, you can definitely cook better than that.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like I would be like, because, like, you know, you're not supposed to cut into
I feel like
it.
some of them are just like
So like
mistakes.
that's a
yeah.
talent I definitely don't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like with cooking a steak, I can't cook a steak to the rarity that I want without cutting it open to check it. I mean, sometimes I get it right, but it's not because I know how to. I just got lucky. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I typically know about what heat and how long to do it, but like I can't do it perfect. You know what I mean? But they never cut into it because you know you don't want to cut into it at a restaurant. You know, if you go to a restaurant, it's typically not cut into.
Yeah.
That's the point. Like you squeeze it. That's how you know. Like you kind of poke it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like I would know if I poke it if that shit's raw. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you should
Maybe
know.
not now, but like also if you're a professional chef on Hell's Kitchen, maybe you don't. I could see you not getting it right because that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like there is no excuse for it ever going out raw if you are a professional chef. I saw with raw chicken. I saw one. There's this crazy one where he's like, this fish is fucking raw, and then he puts it on the table and he fucking slams his hand on it and it explodes because it's like, you know, it's flaky. It just goes everywhere. I was like, this is awesome. I saw one. Man, it was crazy because it's like this dude. He wasn't a chef. He owned a restaurant. He knew how to cook, but like he owned like a restaurant. And Gordon Ramsay's like, why are you here? He's like, you kind of have the ideal situation. He's like, I don't know. I thought it'd be fun. It was really weird. First episode of the season. And he's like, I need 6 scallops. And the guy brings him 4. And he's like, what the hell is this? And he's like, scallops. And he's like, I need 6 of them, you dumbass. And he's like, what? And he's like, 6 scallops. You gave me 4. I need 6. And he's like, what are you asking me, chef? And I'm like, what? And he's like, can you hear? Bring me 6 scallops. And he's like, I don't know what you're asking. Everyone's like, bro, he needs more. And he's like, oh, okay. And he comes back and he brings him 6 more scallops. And he's like, what is this? And he's like, you said you needed 6. He said, 6 total, you fucking moron. You brought me 4. I needed 2. And he's like, I don't understand. He got sent home. This is pretty crazy. But that's probably my favorite show at the moment is probably Hell's Kitchen.
It's pretty good.
It's good. Like I said, Hotel Hell is one I really enjoyed.
I got really
I like
into.
that it's not like a competition.
Yeah, I really liked not Hotel Hell, but the other one he does, Kitchen Nightmares, where he goes into.
Yeah, that one's
I like
good.
That
both of
one's
those.
good
That one's good.
because I hate it. It's like, you know, Gordon Ramsay's coming. He doesn't surprise show up. Like someone asked him to come there,
Yeah.
and he's like, "You need to fix this," and I'm like, "This is perfect. What do you
Yeah.
mean?" He's like, "There are roaches in the kitchen." There's like, "No, I don't see a problem with that." I'm like, "What do you?" You know he's there. Like obviously, a lot of it's probably exaggerated for comedic effect, but like still, like come on. Like if I owned a kitchen and Gordon Ramsay came into it, I would do whatever that bitch said.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. I would never argue with him. Seems like I don't know. It's crazy. People are weird.
What have you been watching, Sam?
I'm watching a wide variety of things. I guess we really didn't talk about a lot 2 episodes ago. Because just like all of COVID, been watching a lot of things. So like the 2 that kind of stand out the most. I'm watching a show called The Prophet and Shark Tank. They're really similar. Obviously, everyone knows like the premise of Shark Tank.
I've been watching Shark Tank. I haven't been watching it like religiously, but like sometimes I'll see it on TikTok, like a scene from it, and then I find that episode and I watch that episode.
Yeah,
Like I like Shark Tank, I just don't watch it.
that's pretty good. I'm watching that. Then The Prophet is real similar, except it's just like this other guy who's like super rich, and then he goes to small businesses who are like struggling, but he like likes their idea, and he'll go in there and he'll kind of like work a deal out with them, and then essentially like he like takes over the business for like a month. And then like at the end of that, he's like, okay, like do I want to continue doing this deal? Or like do I want to like not do a deal? And usually when he like doesn't want to do a deal, it's because like the people who run the company are pretty shitty.
Yeah, just don't care. Really.
Yeah, like they don't care, or like the one was like this, like they do like custom trailers for like food trailers for like food trucks.
Mhm.
And the two people running the company were like ex-wife and ex-husband, but they both are still like 50% stake in the company.
But I'm assuming they did not get along.
And they got along terribly. Like she's like the definition of like white trash with money. Like, and then like he's like funneling money to like, not funneling money, but like they have a lot of contracts with like where his girlfriend works at the time.
Mhm.
But she's like all pissed about it. Like she like finds out about it, and like just yells at him like in front of like their whole entire like team and everything. And so this dude is just like, you guys cannot work together. He's like, I am out.
Yeah.
But like she's super like the one dude's like in charge of like the books, like the husband, ex-husband is in charge of like the money books, and he like doesn't say that they make as much as they make just so she can't take as much money.
I mean,
because like she's crazy. Like
I'm not gonna say it's the right thing to do.
no,
but
it's not
I'm
the
not
right
gonna
thing.
say I
But he's
blame
doing it because
him
he's like
either.
afraid she's just gonna like take all the money.
Right.
Because like
No, I
she has
get
like
it.
but like she like he's like, you guys need to move because they like produce them in Georgia and they ship them down and they like final package them in like Florida. So they're like, it's like a 6-hour commute
Why wouldn't you just?
of them, and they're like, why don't you just like do it all in one area? Like it's not hard to do it all in one area. And she's like, oh, I can't leave my beach house. And he's like, I
She
need you
sounds
to.
awful.
He's like, I need you to move if you're gonna do this. And like that was part of the episode. And she was like, oh, this house is nice. And it's like in Georgia though, but like it's not by the beach. But like he ended up like pulling out of that deal because like they were just fighting constantly.
Yeah.
So it's a
Wanna
pretty
watch that
interesting
episode.
show. It's pretty interesting show. And then I've watched all of the Umbrella Academy. We can talk about that later once you guys have watched that. Really good.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Let me actually do like a little like review of it on an off week.
Yeah, we can do that. I watched a show called Cursed on Netflix.
Is that good?
It has Catherine Langford in it. Would not recommend.
Oh, really?
It was okay.
Oh, is that her new
It's
one?
like-
That kind of people are making fun of.
Yeah. For one, it's just weird.
I think I've seen the logo.
It's just kind of weird. It's like I
She
got
has,
like
a sword in
addicted to
at
it.
one
Yeah.
point? Okay.
Well,
I
she
know
is
what you're saying.
essentially like, you like know the whole story of like King Arthur, right? Like he like pulls like
Yeah.
Excalibur out of the stone.
Yeah.
It's like a weird twist on that with like a female side of it. Like now she has Excalibur, but like Merlin's in it, and like Sir Lancelot's in it, and like all this different stuff. So
Dude,
like it's
Lancelot
like
gets a bad rap. Every story I've heard, they're like, he was a cocksucker. But like, he sounds like a pretty badass Black Knight to me.
yeah.
That's all I'm
But,
saying.
like,
He
this
sounds
one's
like a
weird,
pretty
and then,
cool
like,
dude.
But like her like there's like different races, and like her race like can like is like really in touch with like the forest, and that's her thing. Like she's like whatever. It's okay. My biggest complaint about it is they do like transitions between like things happening, but they're like animated transitions, like but they look like comic books.
Oh, that
Like it's
sounds-
like a weird
sounds like it
comic
doesn't
animated.
fit.
It doesn't work at
Yeah.
all. The transitions are my biggest complaint. But it was okay.
yeah, shit like that can ruin a movie.
Then I'm really
Works out.
excited because like obviously at the time of this getting released, The Boys will have come out in season 2. I don't know if you guys have watched The Boys.
I need to watch the first.
I'm
one.
not
The
finished.
Boys.
I'm not finished with it. I just watched. I started it, and then I was in the middle of moving, so I never
Yeah.
went back and finished it. But I need to.
It's very good. It's
I
very
really
good.
loved it. It's funny.
Dark humor take on superheroes.
I feel like it's more accurate because I feel like you get more of what The Boys is in real life, because they're like
Well, I think it's very accurate as far as like
they use it to make
seeing
money.
the abuse of power that like if
Exactly.
people like if there was a whole race of people that like had power over humans, like there
You
would
definitely
be
get some bad
an
apples
abuse.
who
Yes,
would
for sure.
use it to abuse the system and use it to make money, which is what a lot of them do as well. Yeah. No, I feel I really like it. I need to finish it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really good. I would recommend. The ending's really fucking crazy, but it's very good. So that comes out actually at the time we're talking, like this week. The new season does.
So next week, Sam will have his thoughts on it.
Yes.
that's the case, then I will watch. I'll finish The Boys this week.
I'll
Because I only have a couple episodes
I'll
left.
probably
I just
watch
wanna
it
finish
too.
And then watch
The
season
Boys
2.
is really good though.
It is. I would recommend that one. But that's pretty much it for what I've been watching. Not much more. No like big movies recently. Just a lot of shows.
We watched Project Power. That's our topic for the day, so we don't have to talk about it yet.
Unfortunately, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, okay. We'll delve into that later.
I have
my opinions.
I have like a decent list, but most of them I can just touch on. I watched my first movie in the theaters for a while.
No, that's true.
Damn, Brent does not give a fuck about COVID.
Literally, no one was in that theater. I went to a Radcliffe.
You know why?
No,
Because of COVID.
It was also in a Radcliffe theater that no one goes to anyway. Before that, but like no one was in there except the group I went with. I saw New Mutants, and I think I want to get you guys to watch it so we can do an episode on it at some point because I think it would be good. But
Good or bad though?
I don't
Decent.
like it that much.
I've
I've
heard
I'm-
it's not very good.
I'm mixed on it.
I've heard it's okay. It was underwhelming.
It has good elements. Like I'm not gonna get in too much. I think it's got good elements to it. I think the only thing keeping it from calling it trash is
So the third
the
act.
third act. And I think Act 1 and 2 are really bad with decent moments in them, but I think they're bad. I think characters don't have much development, and some of my friends have said they did, and I disagree. I think they kind of just get better at the end because they have to. I don't think there was a lot of like development or room for growth in any of the characters. This one dude was from Kentucky and had the worst. I forgot the dude's name, but he's the guy that plays Jonathan from Stranger Things.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, he's in the movie. And he's from Kentucky and has the worst Kentucky accent I've ever heard.
Oh, did they fake a Kentucky accent?
Yeah.
Is it like really country?
He's like, my dad works in the mines. And it's like way like.
That's
more
definitely how people view.
It's
Yeah,
like
people
way
that
is
more
for sure.
exaggerated than that.
That is for sure. But yeah, if you actually work in the mines, you have a real strong accent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if
Well,
that's
it's
true,
like-
though, it could be accurate. Because there's different people. Different parts of Kentucky are super different.
I get it, but it doesn't seem
Does it say an
natural.
area
It's
of
like-
Kentucky?
No.
Because, like,
They just call him Kentucky.
well, I'm just saying, Eastern Kentucky, they have really thick accents. Like, really thick. So, like, it could be accurate.
Maybe,
just-
I don't know, but it's like it definitely sounds like an actor trying to.
Well, yeah, that's what he
Yeah.
does.
That's not the thing though. There's so many actors. That
He's
do
acting.
Like there's so many British actors that do American accents and they sound great. And it's like he didn't really do that good of a Kentucky accent, I guess. I don't know. It just really rubbed me the wrong way because you're able to tell like how bad it is. And like I said, the characters were kind of just. I mean, they're fun. There's some good moments. They get better towards the third act, but it's like they kind of have to. Once they actually use their powers, the fights are cool, but they don't do it that much. And then the horror aspects, no spoilers on any of this, but the horror aspects really are few and far between, or not even there at all.
Oh, that's disappointing.
There's times where they do a quote unquote horror scene, but it's not scary. And this is coming from someone who's a bitch, you know? Like, I don't like horror. I was going into it like.
Yeah, I
damn.
remember that. You know how hard we had to persuade Brent to watch any kind of horror film?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
been
went
tough.
into it and I was like, damn, I hope I don't get spooked.
Yeah, Brent was like, I don't want to do it chapter 2. It's too scary. It's too scary.
I didn't even finish that. We started watching it and then turned it off. But not for any reason. It's just I think
You
we
got
all went to
scared.
bed. No, I think chapter 1 was like
Chapter 1 was scarier for me, to be perfectly honest. I liked both of them, don't get me wrong. I loved them both. Chapter 1, though, was scarier for me.
I think chapter 1 is up there for me in movies because I think they
As
do the
good or scary? Or what, up there in your
good
theories
because I
for
think they do the creepy factor really well because I don't like horror, but I love creepiness.
Say horror 3 times fast.
Horror. I sound like
Brent's a whore.
a JoJo character.
Do your best JoJo impersonation right now.
No,
Do it.
No.
Do it.
I don't even like. I don't know where to begin with that.
What's JoJo's catchphrase?
I know Jotaro says "Yari Yari" does it.
Say it like he does it.
I just said it.
Oh, damn. That was not very good.
Anyway, New Mutants is kind of not ass, but it's just kind of eh. I've been watching Samurai Jack.
I love Samurai Jack.
I-
I haven't watched it in forever, but
I watched like 1 or 2 episodes as a kid because I didn't watch Adult Swim that much. But that show's great. Like I'm almost done with season 1 now. I enjoy
Or
that
some
show
Adult
a lot.
Swim.
Wasn't it? Like Toonami, Adult Swim.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah, because it aired on regular Cartoon Network when I was a kid, but like right before. So like when I was watching Cartoon Network, it got taken off of regular Cartoon Network. So I guess it would have been on Toonami.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Samurai Jack was a good show.
Yeah,
They're doing a live action, aren't they?
Are they?
Or are
I
they
know they just-
revamping it?
I know they just finished the. Like they finally did
Was
season 5 a couple years ago.
That
I
might
know
have been
they
what I'm
did that.
thinking of. I think that's what I'm thinking of.
That's what I want. I started watching it because I want to see season 5 because the animation looked beautiful, and also I want to play the game because the game looks really good. So I've been
Mhm.
watching it, and I didn't know it was about the future. Like that's fucking awesome.
Wait, it is?
You're an idiot. Wait, do you actually not remember?
No, I don't remember. I haven't watched it in forever. I only watched it when I
The
was a
whole
kid. I haven't
plot
gone
is
back
that
and watched it.
Aku sends him to the future, and he has to get home. That's why. Like,
Oh yeah, that would make sense because I forget because like he's like fighting robots all the time.
yeah. That's
Okay.
why I never
I just
like
forgot.
watched it, so I can't relate to this. But I know a lot of people were like, "Damn!" Like before they finished it in 2017, they were like, "He never goes home." Like after season 4, they just kind of end.
Yeah, see, I was never because like when it was on, and I would watch it. I only would watch it when I went to like my grandparents because we didn't have cable when it was on. By the time I got cable, I wasn't really watching Cartoon Network anymore, or at least it wasn't. I would say I wasn't watching it; it just wasn't on anymore.
Yeah. This show fits my vibe a lot. I think one thing I like how they.
Well, it did, and then you dyed your hair. Now you look like you would watch like The Accountant.
God damn it.
It's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
I do want to
It is.
watch that movie.
No, it's really good.
But they do like moments
I
of
did watch
silence
that.
a lot, where like nobody talks or does any sound, and there's like music and stuff, which is cool for most of it. But there's so many shots where it's like it's silent and they're just going over like one shot. I'm like, just do something, please, because there's some times where it's like so fucking boring, and there's other times where it's like so fucking awesome. I think they probably get better at it than later seasons. This is season 1, so I can't complain too much. But there's a few episodes where the silent bit just gets way too like there's nothing on screen to make it interesting. But other than that, I'll have more thoughts as I continue. Batman Gotham Knight, I want to touch on for a minute. Is that movie is awesome. It's made up of like 5, 6 like short stories of Batman, all in like its own animation style, and it's so beautiful. I love how like each story touches on like an aspect of Batman. Like if you want to know who Batman is, I would watch
What's
that.
your favorite animated Batman film?
Mask of the Phantasm. It's probably my favorite Batman film in general because they handle Bruce Wayne's struggle with Batman the best out of any Batman film in my opinion. But I think Gotham Knight does it really well because each story touches on an aspect. But there's one where it's like there's these kids in a skate park and they're all talking about their experience with Batman. They all have like some different, pretty much like the urban legend side of Batman where no one thinks he's real. They're like, oh, he's a huge bat. He flies around. Kind of like, and there's another one where there's like no action in it. It's Batman kind of like in a sewer, like in pain, like he's struggling to like move and he's trying to get out, and it like flashes back to like his time training and learning how to like deal with pain and not feel it. Kind of thing. There's another story where I don't remember all from the top of my head. It's really good though. I highly recommend it if you want to know core aspects of Batman.
Did you watch like any? What's the most recent? Have you been watching like the new ones, ish, like the animated ones? Yes. Like Gotham by Gaslight. By new, I mean like past like 3 or 4 years.
I watched all the animated Batman movies. I'm not caught up on all the DC animated movies, but I've watched all the Batman ones.
Did you like Gotham by Gaslight?
Gotham by Gaslight was good. It wasn't as great as I wanted it to be, but I really do enjoy it.
What about Batman Ninja? That one had mixed reviews.
I hated that one.
I wasn't a fan of it either.
I was so hyped for it, but don't crucify me because I fucking love anime, but Batman Ninja...
You don't look like you love anime.
I know I don't.
Well,
you look
not
like
anymore.
you work in a bank.
Not anymore.
Batman Ninja was just too fucking
You used to
weird.
look like you loved anime.
Yeah, I guess I did.
You used to belong in
I want
anime.
my hair back. I really do.
Just dye it
It
again.
looks the same it did a week ago.
But I think my biggest criticism of Ninja is it's too weird. And I know anime is weird, but Ninja felt too weird. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it was kind
The
of odd.
animation style was beautiful.
I
but-
love the animation. That's the whole reason I watched it, because like the artwork looked gorgeous,
Yeah,
but the story just wasn't there.
and I love how they
Japanized.
Japanize. I guess. I don't know. I love how they Japanize all the characters.
That's not a word.
I know it's not, but it's the only thing I can really come up with. Nightwing looks pretty cool. I think Red Hood. The take on Red Hood was pretty cool.
The best Batman animated film is Red Hood.
Under the Red Hood is
Under the
really
Red Hood
good.
is
That
fantastic.
one's a solid film.
Because Jensen Ackles plays Red Hood.
Yep. Dude, I
It's a
wish
great
you would
film.
play him in IRL. That would be sick.
In what?
In real life.
I know that, but you don't look like someone who knows those kind of slurs anymore.
I don't look that out of place.
You look a lot older.
Brent, you really lost your Reddit kid look.
Yeah, you did. Is that why you did it? Because we made fun of you for being a Reddit kid?
No, I was tired.
Even though I'm on Reddit
My
way
hair
more
was
than you are.
My hair was literally down to my chin. It was so bad, and I was getting tired of the
Is
blonde.
it down to the hairs on your shinny chin chin?
What is that joke? And then I guess
Wasn't that funny?
Yeah,
I don't
it wasn't very funny.
I can't talk today. But two more things, I guess. Legend of Korra, I'm not going to speak on it because I haven't watched too much of it. But oh yeah, I don't know if I ever touched on the fact that I finished Avatar, and that's probably
What'd you think?
one of the best
Thank
shows
you.
I've seen.
Thank
I was so dumb as a kid to not like that show.
So good.
Yeah, I still need to watch that.
It's amazing. I hate to say it's one of my favorites all the time.
It's one of my favorites.
But it's 100% one of my favorite shows.
That's what we're gonna get for. We're gonna make stickers, and we're gonna have Brent's face, and it's gonna say it's one of my favorites.
I
You
think
can plug that. For
I think it's only because
anything
I talk.
Brent's ever watched.
I think it's because I only really talk about things I enjoy, so that's why I
Mhm.
kind of say it's one of my favorites.
No, you say that about everything.
Not really.
You say
it's
it a
if
lot.
we went back and
I bet you I could find where you say it in at least once in every episode.
yeah, and if you stack them all in a list, I think it would make sense of movies I really enjoy. My top 10 would be a lot if I said that's one of my favorites.
That's because you have a weird top 10 list where you're like, my top 10 Batman movies done by Christian Bale, and my top 10 Batman movies done by Robert Pattinson. And if you do it that way, then everything that you've ever watched is in your top 10 list.
I just like a lot of things.
No,
I get very excited.
So do I. But you say my favorite a lot. Like Sam says, I agree.
I agree.
And I just say stupid shit.
True.
Ethan just interrupts all the time.
This is true.
That is very true.
That is very true.
But yeah, Korra, I'm
do that.
watching that. I'm enjoying it right now. And then I know people hate it, but I'm enjoying it right now. I'm only a few episodes in. And then Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I swear to God,
it's a great
I've watched
movie.
this 5 times in the past 2 months.
I'm not a fan.
Oh, that's a good movie.
I don't hate it. I just think it's way overhyped.
I think
I could see how you feel that way.
Like it's a decent movie, but it gets held on a pedestal, and I don't agree with it.
I watched it as a kid in the theaters because my dad wanted to take me and my older stepsister to see something, and I guess that was in the theater. Saw it. It was way too old for me because I think I was 6, and these characters were almost having sex, and I think it felt really weird being next to my dad.
I forget that Chris Evans is in.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he
And
is.
so I never thought about it again because I only remember 2 scenes. But it's my girlfriend's favorite movie next to Nacho Libre. So we watched
Nacho
it.
Libre is a classic.
That one's
It's a
really
weird
good.
combo of
It
favorite
is.
films, though.
They're both good though. I mean, she's got
Man,
taste.
Nacho Libre. I love Jack Black. I want to watch. I want to watch Nacho Libre now.
Same.
It's a really good movie.
So I went back and watched Scott Pilgrim with her. I think a month or 2 ago, and I've watched it 5 times since. I watched it last night with my brother because he started watching Project Power with me halfway through, and then we got off of it and we were scrolling through. He's like, "What are we gonna watch now?" And I look at Scott Pilgrim. I'm like, "I want to watch this again." He's like, "Do it. I'll watch it." We got out of it. There's so many times where he's like, "This movie's fucking stupid," but then we got out of it and he was like, "It's good. It's just really fucking dumb." I'm like, yeah, that's the point of it.
What? Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah,
All right.
but it's
Speaking of fucking
really
dumb
fucking
movies,
good. Actually, before we get to that, here's a word
from our sponsor. And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Back again.
That's copyrighted.
It's not copyright.
Yeah, our
Yeah, it
episodes
is.
got unsponsored. It got taken down, blacklisted.
Black.
Yeah, we're getting sued by Eminem.
At least I get to meet him. You know, have
Do
some.
you
Uh,
not understand I'm getting sued by someone?
We're
probably-
They don't come
At
and be
least
like,
I'll have
nice to meet you, you're being sued. That's not how that works.
Yeah, you only meet his lawyers.
At least I'll have contact contact.
You
with
wouldn't
him.
even meet his lawyers. You would just get a cease and desist in them.
I'll have the letter hung up on my wall. It's like Marshall Mathers suing you for.
Who was it? There was a movie where I can't remember what it was, but they were like obsessed with someone and they got a restraining order. And they're like, "Look, I got his signature," and they framed it and put it on the wall.
I would do that.
I can't remember what it was from. It may have been a suit. It could have been that instead of a restraining order, but something along those lines. All right, this week's main topic: Project Power.
Power me off because I had to watch this movie.
It really wasn't that bad.
No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't mind it.
I didn't love it.
It wasn't like top tier, but it was entertaining.
I liked it.
It was something that I would be like, hey, if you like action, I would recommend it to someone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't highly recommend it to someone, but if someone's like, I was on the fence about watching it, should I watch it? I'm like, go ahead, give it a shot.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like...
If someone told me that they really, really enjoyed it, I wouldn't be shocked. If someone told me that they really, really did not enjoy it, I wouldn't be shocked. It was a movie.
This movie has a solid premise, structure, and direction.
Yeah.
I think where it falls flat a little bit is writing and pacing a little bit.
Yeah, the pacing was kind of odd, but like, I don't know. Should we give it a synopsis of the movie before we discuss?
Yeah, Sam Leeson.
What do you mean synopsis?
Like, what was the movie about? What's the premise?
Okay, so essentially we're in like, I guess futuristic times, just like normal times, kind of. It's not really the future.
Close to present day, but like, I feel like it's present day just with different surroundings.
Yeah.
They didn't really specify, but like most
But
of
this,
the technology was like the same. Other
That's
than
true.
The pills.
That's true. Well, that's why this company has come up with these pills where you take them, and it grants the person like 5 minutes of superpower. So essentially, everyone has one power, and this pill just like releases that power, and like
You
the
can't
power
take
can be
different ones,
a
right?
majority of things. No, you can only. It's only one. Everyone only has one power.
Like it's the same pill for everyone, and it's a different effect for everyone.
Yeah, everyone
It's not
has different
it's not
effect.
like one person, like you take this pill for this power and this pill for it's
Yep.
one, and then whatever you get, you get.
Yep.
Yeah, it links to like some animal trait.
Yeah, which I thought was weird because they didn't really explain that well.
Yeah.
That was a qualm I
It wasn't
had
till
with the
the
movie.
end that I really
It's because
kinda
they were like, it brings out an animal instinct, which I get that, but I'm like, but what determines?
And they
how that
it's
connects
kind of
to each
mentioned here
person?
and there, like in the movie, but yeah.
But it wasn't super clear.
Yeah, there's no
with
really
it being
connection.
with it being a solo film, I'm assuming it doesn't really
Probably,
seem like it needs
yeah.
a sequel or it's gonna get one. Yeah. In solo films like that, you really gotta punch in all the, the facts of what's what.
But yeah, and that's pretty much it. So then this guy's just like looking for
I
something.
thought the acting was good. Like the casting was really good. Jamie Foxx and who was the other one? I cannot think of his name.
Yes.
Justin Gordon-Levitt. I love him. I thought they did a great job. I thought the acting was really good.
Yeah.
Other than that, MGK.
Yeah.
He was in it.
He's
I
just
mean, I
wanna
like
be
his
Eminem.
character.
Why is he trying to be like an actor and all these like?
I don't mind it as long as they don't overpower me. You know what I mean? I've seen him in like 3 or 4 movies.
I've only seen him in Bird Box and this.
He was in Bird Box. He was in this, and he was in shit. What was that one?
Oh, he's another one though.
That streaming one or whatever, where you can watch people fight to the death or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Sounds like a GK movie.
Yeah, I didn't hear you talking about, but I don't remember what it's
Nerve.
called.
Was it Nerve? No.
I don't know.
Maybe. It was the one with the Franco brother, and like you like pick if you want to be a watcher or a player.
I haven't seen it.
You know
Yeah,
what- you
no,
know what I'm
now
talking about?
I'm getting lost.
So in the movie, you can either choose to be. The movie was actually fantastic. I really enjoyed it. You can either be a watcher or a player, and you choose. And then if you're a watcher, then you just stream it and you're just watching it. But if you're a player, you have to do these tasks, and it leads you up to like the prize of like $100 million or some shit. I don't remember exactly what it is. But it's like it ends up with it's small things. It's like. You accept or decline it, but like it starts off as like go steal something, or and then it's like go rob someone, go steal a car. Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
You know what I'm talking about?
I
Now? Go
remember the
steal a
trailer
car,
a
and then
little
it was like
bit.
go, and then it ends up leading everyone who gets to the end to the same place. It's like fight to death or something along those lines. It's been a while. I watched a couple years ago.
Is Truth or Dare?
No, it's not Truth or
I
Dare.
think it's called. I think it's.
I totally forget the name of it, but I know
I'm
what you're talking about.
Pretty sure it's Nerve. It was pretty good. MGK was in that. He wasn't in a lot though. So every movie I've seen him, he's been in that.
Yeah, he's like
Bird
barely
Box
been
and Nerve.
in the movie.
He's in it enough to where you're like, hey, I recognize that as MGK. He has a role. He establishes a character, and then he's done. I feel like in that,
it's
he's.
like either,
I don't have any problems with it. He's not. I don't have an issue with it.
It's like either he wants to act and they're not paying him enough, so he's in there for like 2 minutes.
I don't think it's
or
that.
it's
I
like
think
they
he's just
don't
not
really
that-
want him in there. That
I
much.
think it's that he's just not that good of an actor to get a
Yeah.
serious role.
Yeah, I agree.
But he's the name to where fans of him will be drawn to watch this film because they're like,
I
oh,
feel like
he's
he's
in it.
already
Yeah.
being typecast though. As
I mean,
like,
yeah, if he's the same
that
character every.
grungy kind of like
Yeah,
you know,
thug
guy.
person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the movie's called Nerve. It's really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty good, damn good movie. I'd recommend it.
He wasn't awful in this for like the character he
No,
played.
what he played, I thought he. Did a
I mean, he
really
was
good
only in
job
it for
at
like 5 minutes too,
Yeah.
though. Like the very
honestly,
beginning.
though, that first scene was probably my favorite bit of the movie. I mean, to be perfectly honest.
I do
with
like
you.
that fight.
Because
Yeah,
it was
that fight
he
scene was
took- I
sick.
mean, it was pretty sick.
Yeah, fight scene was sick.
I really.
The fight
enjoyed
scenes
it.
were shot like really well. My favorite. Oh, okay, that's a spoiler. We'll talk about it later. But
Yeah, I mean, I thought the movie was good. Like we were saying, it's kind of like
I-
you like would never like go out of your way to recommend it, but like I guess like
if someone had
my
watched-
biggest thing is like right now, like there's like just been watching a lot,
there's not, well,
so there's
nothing
not a
out.
lot out. So like that was out, and it's kind of one of those things. I was like, if you're looking for something to watch, I would like recommend it in that aspect of it,
for sure.
because like it is entertaining enough and like keeps you
I mean,
busy for 2 hours.
yeah,
But
it was okay. It wasn't great. Put it this way: if you were paying to see it, like if it was in theaters, I would not recommend you go see it in theaters. I wouldn't think it was worth the money. But if you're bored and you have nothing to do on Netflix, I would recommend watching it.
what?
See what I'm saying though?
Yeah, I do.
Like I wouldn't
100%.
recommend someone to pay to see it, but if you have Netflix and you need a movie to watch, I'd be like, it was okay.
Yeah.
I did have one big issue with it. Me and Brent talked about it earlier for a little bit. I was not a fan of the rap
yeah, it was a weird subplot.
subplot. It didn't fit in the movie, and there wasn't a whole lot that came about it.
Yeah, I know what
It
you're
was
saying.
like, because like at the beginning of the movie, you know, she's in class, and they're like, "Oh, you don't pay attention. What are you gonna do with your life?" She's like, "I'm gonna be a rapper," and then she drops these sick bars,
Story
and
of
then
my life.
nothing
Yeah.
happened. And then, but it was like a fantasy. She didn't really
Yeah,
do it, and then
no, I
nothing
agree
happened.
with that.
And then like an hour later, her and Jamie Foxx's character were like, he's like, well, "What are you gonna do?" And she's like, "I'm gonna be a professional rapper." And he's like, "Ha!" And she was like, "Oh, fine." And he was like, "Oh, you're serious? Drop some bars." And he's like, and then this thing goes on for like 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
I mean, and she dropped some bars, and then like nothing happened. They just continued. And then you get to the end.
No,
of
I
the-
agree.
Then you get to the end of the movie, and then you hear a song on the radio, and then you're like, "Oh, I mean, that was cool, I guess." But
Movies
like,
that have like freestyles in them are always weird because
They're
not
weird if the
really
movie-
But like
freestyles.
written
They're weird-
freestyles, yeah, no.
but they're also weird if the movie's not about music. It
I
didn't
agree,
fit.
too.
It did not fit
Like
in the
this
movie.
ain't Eight
Like it
Mile.
wasn't bad, but it didn't fit in this movie about taking a pill for a superpower. It was just really out of place.
Yeah.
I like. It could have not been in the movie, and I would have
Movies
been
would have been the
like,
same.
at no point I would have been like, you know what, this needs a rap subplot.
I agree with that.
I'd be
statement.
like,
the payoff of her getting a song on the radio at the end was kind of cool.
yeah, but
it's
like nothing else that happened in the film led to that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's like you
Like,
never really
nothing
saw her go
helped-
to a studio.
Exactly. Nothing helped her get to that point on the film.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, hey, thanks for helping me. I like even that. If he was like, hey, thanks for helping me. I know this guy who might be able to get you, help your music career. Not even that. He was just like, all right, I'll see you around. And then he's like, oh, damn, she's on the radio. That's pretty cool. Like it just it felt so out of place and unnecessary.
Yeah, I think the movie is kind of. I've said it before, but I think the cinematography is great. I love a lot
I
of
agree.
The action scenes were really well done.
I think I wouldn't mind a sequel because I think the world is interesting enough, and that if they tightened up a lot of the writing, I couldn't find like a lot of like sentences, like quotes that I hated per se. I just didn't find the plot very well written because I feel like a lot of things just kind of happened. If that makes sense, I kind of feel like the
No,
villain. There
I
was no
agree.
like villain per se. Like there's one.
Yeah, it was kind of.
They don't really.
Yeah, it's like the company was the villain, but like also not really.
Mhm.
It was very weird.
Yeah, I think I'm just dumb. I didn't catch it, but they didn't really set up.
I'd agree with
like,
that.
the thing with his daughter that well. Kind of like the reason they have her.
Yeah, I agree with that. It took a while for that to even set up.
'Cause
and
I
it
thought-
wasn't
Yeah, it
very
took a
good.
while to set up, and
Without
it didn't
spoiling
make
this,
too
I
much
thought she
sense.
was just a scientist there. I thought she was like, just working on experiments.
With spoiling
No.
it, what was the reason that she was captured again?
Well, we'll get to that later.
I don't remember,
We'll get to it later.
but I don't remember.
Yeah, it's just kind of like they don't.
That's weird.
They don't explain things very well, so I think if they kind of like wrote things in a little bit, and had a solid villain, had a solid plot that kind of felt like it's set up to go to certain places, and then you go there and it pays off well. Because it kind of feels like it was a wild goose chase for a little bit.
No, I 100% agree with I think lacking a solid villain is a big aspect of it. Like not really hitting the mark. I mean, I think if they like even if they made like MGK the villain, that would have been kind of sick. Like in an aspect of like he's pissed and out for revenge and like didn't officially die.
He was just kind of selling drugs or whatever.
Yeah, he's just selling the drugs.
And he was just using the power to get away from the cops or type deal.
Or like even if the company like themselves had like obviously they had the like bodyguard dude who like took it,
There's also,
but they really had no one in the company that like had super insane power.
yeah, it was weird.
So like you would
'cause,
think
like,
at some point they would have had like found somebody that has a pretty crazy power that they
Yeah.
keep on their team to protect the
I
drug.
mean, except that one guy.
Yeah, except the
Just
one
went,
guy that like
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think it was interesting.
I will give it.
Putting my
it's-
mind into theirs, I think the idea of no villain would have just been because you have this pill that gives anyone a power, so the henchmen become the villains essentially. Because you could have so many cool powers, but they don't really play on that well.
Yeah, I will say the idea's unique. That's what one of the,
yeah,
I-
for sure.
that was one thing that made me want to watch the film. At least was it was an original idea. You don't get a lot of that these days.
Yeah.
Could have been done better, but like also you typically get that with the first original. Like it's kind of hard to structure it because you have to come up with everything. You know what I mean? But like, there was this also weird scene in there. Like as it's close to the beginning when there's the bank robber, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's like, "All right, I'm gonna just take it over," and he takes the pill, and then the guy's like, and then the police chief is like, "You took the pill, you're fired," and he's like, "No, if I didn't, I would have died," and he's kind of like, "All right, good point."
Good point.
And I'm like, there was no argument.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah,
like,
we can go ahead and get into spoilers, honestly, if you just want to rate it real quick.
yeah, I agree. Let's go ahead. Ethan, go.
out of 5, highest I would give it would be a 3.5.
I agree. I think I gave it 3.5 on Letterboxd.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair.
3.5.
3.5.
So I'd say maybe a 7.
We don't need to do both.
Yeah,
So
I'd
confusing.
I'd probably
I'd say
put it
just
more like
I would just
Evelo.
do 5 stars since we're all in Letterboxd now.
Yeah.
Also, do you want to mention that?
Yeah, we'll actually be posting all our Letterboxd
Yes.
reviews
We're gonna start linking
On
all of our
Twitter.
letterboxes and actually actively typing reviews. I typically just
Yeah.
write it. I'm gonna start writing reviews for it.
Yeah.
I used to write reviews a lot and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
we're
but
gonna
so you can
try to
follow
get
us
better
on-
with reviews
You
and
can
everything.
follow us on Letterboxd for an actual detailed, written, personalized, one-by-one review instead of a discussion.
Yeah,
those
so
are gonna
all
be
three
linked
of
as well.
our reviews will
That'd
be
be sick.
up with the
But
episode.
yeah, I just kind of had an issue with that scene because he was like, "I'm gonna take a pill," and like it's not illegal,
Are we in spoilers now?
I guess.
Spoiler
Yeah.
territory.
Spoiler.
Back out if you haven't seen the movie. It's on Netflix though. It's not like you have to go to the movie theater. Spoiler. Okay, go ahead.
But like, this is early on in the movie, but like he's like, you know, the guy's robbing the bank, but he's also taking a pill, and his turns him invisible. Kind of. No, it's more of a chameleon.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a chameleon.
he
Like,
blends in.
blends
He's
in the
not
background.
invisible because you kind of see him. If he's standing
Yeah.
still, you can't. Type deal. But anyway, so Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, I can't remember his name, but he's like, all right, I'm gonna take one because he had one, and then like he ends up catching him, and the only reason he got away because like at the end of the scene, he gets shot in the head, but he was fine because he took the pill.
He has this bloodshot eye the whole time.
Yeah,
That's
his blood-
kinda weird.
It was weird, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
like
dig the
those
vibe.
lasting effects.
Yeah, but anyway, so like, and then the cop and then the police chief or whatever comes and he's like, "You took a pill, didn't you?" And he's like, "Yeah." So what? And he's like, "Give me your badge and gun." And he's like, "No."
Let me go undercover.
Yeah, he's like,
Okay.
yeah, he's like, "No, the pill helped me." And he was like, It's a good point. It did. Like, there was no argument there.
Yeah.
Because he was just like, "You're fired," and then he was like, "Mm-mm," and he was like, "Okay." Special
Also,
mission.
I had a flaw, like, going back to, like, that chameleon
Well, they
one.
also did kind of say at the end though that like he was setting him up to get killed though. Like they were gonna kill Joseph Gordon-Levitt,
Yeah.
but it still was kind of like weird in the moment though.
I think I have a big flaw with, like, that initial bank robbery scene. It's so, like, whatever, the bank's getting robbed by this dude, right? And, like, he's, like, taking the pill. And the pill lasts 5 minutes. So he's getting robbed by the dude. And, like, obviously the dude's in the bank, probably invisible. And then, like, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, like, takes the pill right before he breaks into the back of the bank or whatever.
Right.
To find this dude. So then, like, the whole chase scene comes down. And, like, the end, like, yeah, he has his timer going off. But, like, the dude's invisible the whole time. So, like, that dude would have taken the pill prior to Joseph Gordon-Levitt taking the pill.
This is true.
So
This is
his
a big-
invisibility should have ran off before his bulletproof did, but, like,
He could have popped another one, but they don't. Really
yeah, I
show
mean,
it.
they don't show it. So, like, obviously, yeah, he could have popped another one, which they wouldn't have shown. But
Well, it would
there's
make
a
sense
little
for
bit
them
of a-
to have shown it so that you could be like, "Oh, it only lasts 5 minutes."
I'm
Because
kinda-
yeah.
because that scene with Joseph Gordon-Levitt was where we established that it only lasts 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because that's the first time we saw him take it. Because MGK had it, but it just kind of lasted, and then it
yeah,
wore
then
off.
over,
But we
you
didn't
know.
have a
They
timer.
said at the beginning
He set
that
a
it
timer.
was 5 minutes, but they did kind of like drill it in with like him setting a timer.
Yeah, so
My-
that we drill it in, and then the other guys lasted more than 5 minutes. But he could have taken 2. But
Yeah,
like,
he could have.
if he took 2, why wouldn't you show him taking 2 to make a point? Like, it would make sense. Yeah,
I can
I
always
feel
say
like
it
that
touched
I
more
feel like that was a continuity error.
on
Yeah,
the
just a little bit.
aspect of.
But that was the only one I saw.
I wish they kind of would have touched more on the aspect of like how many pills you could take.
That's true
I feel
because
like they
there was
didn't-
lasting effects each time. We'll see that makes sense with the eye now because his eye stayed that way, and you saw MGK character at the beginning. He clearly used a lot because like
Yeah,
he
but
had
like, he took like
burns.
3 at the same time.
Yeah, but beforehand he had burns. When we saw him the first
Yeah.
time, he had burns on his face. The other guys, you see the multiple guys and the henchmen in there. When he sneaks into like the where they're
the boat.
no.
The trial area place?
Yeah, the trial
Yeah.
place when he's showing
With
off
all the rich people, yeah.
with all the rich people. You can tell who's taking it because they all kind of have like burns on their face or marks or something. I did think it was funny. The one guy he was like, they're like, "Are there any side effects?" They're like, "No, some people just doesn't work on." And then like one guy's like, "I'm gonna take one," and he took it and he just fucking blew up.
Yeah.
I will say my favorite fight in the whole movie is the one in that club where like the chick is freezing.
And it's
and
like
she's in the
shooting it
tank.
from her. That's
Yeah,
a dope. Yeah,
it's
that
like
is a dope cinematography right
through
there.
the glass, and you see her freaking out and like going to the side, and she's like crumbling and like freezing the whole time as you see Jamie Foxx out there shooting a bunch
Yeah,
of people.
that was
Yeah,
pretty
like
cool.
people
The
like falling
camera's,
against the
like, going
glass.
I
around.
really say, I digged that scene because like
And
you
she starts like breaking her fingers off.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
crazy.
I like this scene because like you see her perspective from inside, but it's foggy, and in the background you see Jamie
Yeah.
Foxx fucking shit up, but like it's blurry, so it's not as graphic as it would be.
Yeah.
But like you see him just taking them out one by one. That was a really cool shot. I really
was
did
very
appreciate
dope.
that
I
shot.
love that so much. Like this movie has good cinematographers and like choreographers and stuff like that. So if they and director, I guess. I mean, I like the directing style. So I think if they took those aspects and kind of touched up the writing and maybe spent a little more time on the story, I feel like it could be a 4 or 5. You know?
Yeah, it definitely has a lot of like promise.
It
Like
has
that's where I would,
potential.
like Ethan kind of mentioned earlier. Like it's a really cool like idea, like the whole pill that gives you superpowers.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I feel like they could do a sequel. If they did a sequel, I would watch it because I feel like
yeah,
Mm.
think about it. If they listen to this podcast and then they do a sequel and they're like, "Oh, those are good ideas."
Yeah, it's not to say you have to have like amazing writing to.
No, I feel
Like,
like if you're a
give an awesome
professional
action
writer,
movie.
you should have
'Cause, like,
amazing writing.
What was the Vin Diesel one? Was it Bloodshot?
yeah, I haven't
Because
watched
I
that.
thought
It was
that one was
okay.
a 4 out of 5 action movie because the action was amazing. Even though the story
That's my
was
other
kinda-
problem with you. You rate when you rate movies, you're like action movie 4 out of 5, plot 6 out of 5. Like you jump
yeah.
around based on how you would rank the movie.
Well, it's the genre though. Like I like ranking.
Yeah,
in
but
a
you'll
genre.
give them different genres. So you'll be like in general 3 out of 5. But if it was just an action, 4 out of 5. You know what I mean?
True. It's
But
just
like, it makes sense.
I think the whole rating system is flawed. You know, I'm not gonna get into it again. I think rating things is flawed because you're able to go on IGN and be like, Imagine Babies is a 7 out of 10, but Death Stranding is a 6.8. Like, it's not really the same audience or the same genre.
You know what's not flawed?
What?
You.
Oh,
I would disagree, but
I would disagree too.
Agree to disagree. But
There's-
I
okay.
have one other flaw with the movie, and like you guys might be able to help me out with this. So, the end scene, for one, it was also like super, whatever you call it, like predictable, like
Yeah.
how they were gonna get out the boat, because like he's like, oh, I don't take the pill anymore, and like all this stuff. So like his power's nuts or something like that. Like it's gonna be something crazy, and he like kind of mentions it with like the whole, like, did you know a shrimp can like
I like that
vibrate,
scene a little
like
bit.
vibrates so fast that it evaporates everything around it, and like I
Mhm.
didn't even know that. And so,
Yeah,
but
I
then
didn't know
like,
either.
but my biggest issue with that scene is like, so that's his power, of course, and like when you take a shrimp and then you multiply it up to a human, it's gonna be like a fucking bomb. So that's his power, and you kind of know it. My biggest thing is the girl that he goes back out to rescue is like obviously within the blast radius.
yes,
Yeah.
I did also see.
And so
that
I was
too, and
kind of like, how is he going to evaporate everything there, but not her?
yeah,
And I did kind of notice, which like might have to like watch it back really closely, is so like he like does this little thing where he like starts to like obviously evaporate, and he goes like in slow motion. I don't know if he can like direct where he's putting his power out, but like it almost looks like he like
It hits
knocks
the-
her first, and it like throws her back, but like not in like an evaporation kind of thing, just like a
Yeah.
sheer force to, like knock her away, and then he like goes through and like does the
He hits
whole
the guy that was handling her.
yeah. So he can almost like, that's my thing. I think he can kind of control it, but like obviously like there's kind of a little bit of a, because he literally destroys like half the fucking boat
Yeah.
yeah.
with
I
his
think-
blast. But like she's fine.
But
I
like,
think my problem was with the scene was kind of like, it was a cool scene. I liked the power, but my thoughts during it pretty much was like, for one, does it not last 5 minutes? Like, is his just like a, can he stop it? Can he control it? Is it just like
he might be.
abundance of force, and then he uses that, and then he's done?
Yeah.
Or is it like, I don't know, it was weird. There's so many things during that
Yeah, I
scene.
see what
Is he
you're
able to
saying.
aim it? Like if say he got the pill that allowed him to use the power forever, was it like, what would his be?
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it.
I mean, I do like. I mean, I like the whole aspect of like we kind of said, like it takes like a physical toll on people. That like it's just normal people using superpowers, and like I've always liked like that aspect in like everything, like especially when it comes to like magic shows when like they can't do magic that's like more than what they're able to like give out. Like you can't like bring someone back to life without like taking another life.
Yeah.
Like there's got to be like a balance
Yeah.
of like
See,
how
could
they
you
did that in The
imagine, though?
Witcher.
everything.
Imagine Project Power. This shit was real. Imagine like some people that you know personally with superpowers that like shouldn't have superpowers.
That you were staring at me for a second.
Oh, I was.
No, I don't mean like you. I mean like someone like the trash people from your high school or whatever. Could you imagine?
I like
That
the
would be
drug
awesome.
dealing aspect of it.
No.
They
I do
kinda
like
show,
that.
I do like because that's 100%
on the streets
how it
and
would be
s-
used. I feel like that's accurate. But like that's kind of what I was imagining. We're like, all the crackheads that went to my school would definitely try to get a hold of these pills.
It was kind of weird, kind of like how Joseph Gordon-Levitt showed out of nowhere, and they had this dynamic, and it was like I was kind of confused with what the dynamic was, because at first I thought
really.
At first I thought she was like a Chris Hansen kind of thing, where she was like just bluffing those dudes to have the cop come in and arrest him,
Yeah,
and then
that was
like,
kind of weird. It was
No, I agree.
It
Yeah,
was hard
I
to-
didn't know what was going
actually
on
though.
first.
Speaking of that, that reminded me of probably I lied. There was a better scene in the movie. I thought the writing in it was genius. So when Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, when he realizes they're going after the girl's mom, He
Yeah.
sees the cop cars in there, so he has the idea to strip down and get a towel
That
and
was
be like,
sick.
"What are you doing in my house?"
Yeah, that
and
was
like,
cool.
and like he like immediately and she looks confused, and he immediately is able to switch the situation to get her to understand that he is trying to help her because the people in her house are actually bad guys, and then that communication, that nonverbal communication that they hit, I thought that was really genius. That was really good writing.
I like
I
that
really
a lot.
enjoyed that
Yeah,
scene.
that scene was dope.
I really enjoyed that scene.
I
That
like
scene
how
was
they
pretty.
kind of say that the police force is like being pulled behind the strings by like guys in suits.
I mean, that happens
I
all
like
the time.
That's true. I like how they touch on it a little
Yeah, I
bit.
did like that.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap up?
Overall, it's a fun movie to watch.
I would recommend it if you have Netflix. I
Yeah.
wouldn't get Netflix to watch
If you're
it.
bored, don't have anything to watch, definitely pick that one.
Yeah.
Like if you're
I
in the
would
middle
say
of a
that.
show, maybe not, but definitely if you're looking for
If
something
you're
new to
browsing
watch,
for something and you can't figure out what to pick, watch Project Power.
for sure.
If you want some fun action scenes, it gets a little boring every once in a while, but it's a fun watch if you're bored.
Yeah, it was okay. I liked it.
I did too.
3.5.
I think all across the board, 3.5.
Yeah, I think it's pretty fair.
I might write a review tonight, so check out our Letterboxd accounts.
Well, that'll be up the day of the episode.
Yeah, that's true. So,
Yeah.
And with that concludes the Uncultured Opinions podcast, episode 24.
24.
That's a wrap.
Thanks for joining us.
That's a wrap.
And
Toodles.
That's a wrap.